Mhm.
Oh, good afternoon, Heather.
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. To so I invited Heather to come and share her story a little bit about what brought you to working with me in the first place and a bit of your journey so far, because um, I know confidence is such a massive area and sometimes a bit of a taboo area for people to sort of admit that they're struggling with or to seek help. So I thought it would be a really nice idea for people to be able to see a real person actually speaking about their experience, to be able to relate with that. So could you just give us a bit of a sort of brief history on what brought you to contacting me in the first place?
I saw on Facebook um, your Think Feel Ride. This was maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, would it
Yeah,
be?
gotta be
It's been
about
nearly.
that
And I was in quite a desperate place with my confidence.
now. Okay.
Wasn't enjoying riding, if and when I rode. And I think because my daughter always rode and I turned to groom for her, I think that was enough at the time, but then I wanted to ride again. And I almost felt like I should be doing it as well because other people around me are doing it.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for me like that at all. And I got myself in such a mess that I was ready to sell my horse. As
Mm.
much as I loved him, and I believed that he'd be better off with somebody else. And I saw the your course, and I thought it's got to be worth a try because I don't know what else to do. I was open to anything, but I was a little bit not ashamed and not embarrassed, a little bit of a cross between the two to
Yeah.
say, for somebody that's been riding for years and doing things, to suddenly say, I can't do it anymore and I don't know why and I need some help. So then I contacted you and we started working together.
That is definitely that's definitely something that I believe a lot of people feel, that kind of I shouldn't be needing to ask for help. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. And kind of then take it kind of personally,
Mm.
um, as a personal attack of who they are, where they're at. And our mind feeds that for us, doesn't it? It likes to sort of really pull in and go, yes, you're right, you are no good. You must sell your
Yeah.
horse and do something else. So yeah, so then I think at that point it was quite a new course that I'd put together, and Think Feel Ride 6 week course. Um, and like you're saying, you'd got kind of nothing left to lose, as it
Mm.
were.
Yeah.
You so when you contacted me and was getting ready to start that course, what what thoughts were going through your mind about what you were going to the outcome you would get for you? What
Well,
did you want the outcome to be, I guess?
I think I expected a click of the fingers miracle cure that, okay, now you're brave, go and ride your pony.
Yes.
And I I was very nervous. I was nervous about our first because I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know what format, what we'd talk about. And I think on our very first session we didn't really talk about riding very much. It was very informal, very relaxed. Then we sort of moved to talking about the riding, but all along we were asking ourselves, okay, how did we get to this point? How do we feel about this? How does this make us feel? And I've never looked at it as a process before. I just thought, oh, you've just lost your confidence, deal with it.
Yeah.
I'd never I'd never tried to look at, okay, how do we get back to where we are? And I've realised very quickly that it's not a click of your fingers
Hmm.
and you've got brave pants on and you can go and ride your pony. It is a process and it's something that you have to work at all the time. But every time it gets easier and better. And
Yeah. That and so and that's what I find really interesting about when I'm working with people is that very rarely especially initially, very rarely do we actually talk massively about the horses. We relate back and forth to situations with the horses, but there is such a focus on us being able to understand us a little bit more and where things are coming from. What would you say was the biggest thing that you sort of took away initially that was like a revelation to you almost as to where all this was coming from?
I think we had I don't know if it was in our first or second lesson, and it was probably our first actually, because I said I don't understand why I'm like this, because I used to hunt and I used to jump big fences and I used to do this and that, and you said, let me just stop you there. This, and I think we talked about ego and things like that, and then I thought about how I was embarrassed about my problem, and I think it changed my expectations of myself. Just from our first chat, just a chat about, we weren't particularly talking about Thomas, but I know I was quite upset, not upset, but I was quite bothered by, I don't know what's happened to suddenly be like this, when to be honest, in my head, I used to be so great and nothing's happened, and now I can't even walk around school. So I think just chatting in that first time, just realizing that, okay, that was then. This is where we are now. This is the moment we're in. This is where we are. Let's work with this. Yeah. So that was the when I realized that, everything started changing.
Yeah, being in that moment.
Yeah.
Very powerful to be in that moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the before, not the what might be, but the here and now.
This is where I am, and right now I'm all right.
Absolutely.
And that was it. And
because we always are. That's the kind of, I guess, in a way, the scary thing is we're not scared at all.
Yeah.
Ultimately, underneath it. So you've been on a few different courses with us, and obviously we're talking about the Think Feel Right today. Those of you that know me and the work I do probably know my partner Richard, my fiance now, I should say, and that we work together doing the Perfect Partnership. And Richard very much works on animal communication and healing, Reiki work, mediumship, and we still combine both of our areas together. So you came and worked, you did the online course with me. I came and worked with you in person. Then you came and did our Perfect Partnership retreat.
Yeah.
And there was, for me, looking on at you, there was quite a big change from that Perfect Partnership retreat as well.
Yeah.
So when you completed the Perfect Partnership retreat and went home, what were the biggest changes for you?
I believed in my own ability a bit more, because on that retreat we had a where's the proof talk, and I remember you saying, and I still say it to myself 2 or 3 times a day, because like when you tack it up and you think, and I won't do his girth up too tight in case he books, or I won't, and I'm always saying to myself, where's the proof? He's never done that before, so he's not going to do it now. Move on. So I think that from the retreat affected my riding massively when I got back. Where's the proof? And learning to stay in the moment. Don't let your head try and convince you that there's other stuff going to happen, because there's no proof it's going to happen, and right now you're okay.
Awesome. That is such a... So if we sort of speed on a little bit, where are you at now with Tommy, and sort of what's happened over the last sort of year? And obviously we're still working together currently via Zoom a little bit, and mostly when lockdown isn't going on, I'm out with you most weeks and working with you and Tommy. So where are you sort of at now, and what, if you could what's the word, sort of encompass the change, what it is you've got out of us working together, the journey you've been on from then to now. What difference has that made in your life with Tommy, outside of with Tommy? Sort of, if you were going to, because you kind of are, if you can explain to somebody the difference this has made in your life.
I think it's understanding has been a massive difference. Understanding not just myself, but also Tommy and our relationship. I think that's been the biggest difference. I was coming to you for lessons, bringing Tommy out to you for lessons, but on a morning, it was going brilliantly. Then I stopped riding for a little while because I went on holiday and Tommy went off to stay with my daughter. And when he came back, our relation, we'd lost a little something that I couldn't find it again. So we started working together again. And I'm not back on again yet, but I'm very nearly there. Every time I'm in the school lunging and working, I do that with his tack on, and I lunge and everything ready to ride, because I know any minute I'm gonna, right, I want to get back on now. I'm ready to get, and I feel I'm ready to.
Awesome.
The difference that has been is that in our relationship is that I don't think, oh God, I've got to go and ride. I haven't ridden yet today. And I don't drag it out. Now I want to do things. I look forward to doing things with him. And if I don't ride, I don't ride. We're still building our relationship. We're still learning together and working together, you know, lunging and doing groundwork. So I've learned to take the pressure off. And that's gone through in all aspects of everything. I don't worry about things I can't change. So, which has been really helpful in the lockdown when everybody's worrying about the rest of the world. I've learned not to get so stressed about things, not to worry about things I can't change, and just to, okay, if all I do today is a little bit of pole work or a little bit of, you know, making Tommy step back or things, that's good enough. That is fine. And if I feel like getting on tomorrow, I'll get on tomorrow. So we're massively progressing all the time. I think I forgot what the question was, but that's what I've taken away. Just a bit more understanding of him and me working and our partnership. And I don't put myself under the pressure anymore that I used to.
Brilliant. And I've seen that from you know, as time's gone on, and there's been times, obviously, as it is for all of us, times in our lives where things get a bit thrown up in the air again and all sorts go on. And so we'll have times where maybe we're not in touch quite as much, still there in the background a little bit, and then times where we're doing more together. And each time sort of we connect again for more intense work, as it were. Although you may feel in that first moment you've gone backwards, you actually have, like, a lot of it's just fake the brain. That's gone, and actually you're still streets ahead of where you were.
Massively.
We just get rid of a little bit. So that is sort of on your general feeling in life and your relationship with Tommy. What's happened with your ridden side, as in how you and Tommy used to be as a ridden partnership and to how you are now, regardless of the fact at the moment, because of the situation, you've not been riding much, and that is purely because of situations, not anything else. But what is the difference between how you and Tommy are as a ridden partnership now to where you were?
Well, the fact that I've actually been riding, but I think I see Tommy differently now. He's not this big scary horse anymore. We're a bit of a team.
Yeah.
And learning through the work that you've done with me, that just riding him just a little bit differently, and not, confidence isn't all about kicking harder and bravado. It's a bit like trust. I think trust is a good word for it for me, and I trust him more. So I ride him differently, so he behaves differently, and we have a nice time. Whereas before I was a bit, kick, because it makes me feel brave when I'm being tough, and Tommy just switch off, and which meant I had to kick harder. But now working with you, I've learned that actually just ask him once, and then he gives you what you want, and then just relax, enjoy what you've got, and everything's great. So, and it's almost like a light bulb moment, because if you never felt it or had it, to suddenly have something like that, it's like, oh my God, why, how did this happen?
This was so easy.
Yeah. So it's changed massively our trust in each other, my confidence, and just learning that it's not about being big and brave. It's the trust and the understanding has made me more confident in him, in general, not just
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So I seem to remember, and obviously lockdown has kind of not helped, but we have, I mean, obviously I'm slightly on the back foot as well now. We set ourselves a challenge, didn't we?
We did, but we can't do that because of the lockdown. But no, it's there. We still train for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a challenge that we were going to both do a prelim dressage test by Easter, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the reason I was saying I'll go and do I'll go out and do it was to give me a little bit of a challenge, because at that time I had an ex-race horse who, learnt racing and didn't know anything else. I was like, I'll kick on. Well, I won't kick on, I don't kick, but I'll crack on, I should say. Yeah. And obviously, that's changed. I'm a little bit on a back foot, because unfortunately that boy Peter has passed over, and there's now a new boy on the situation who is a little bit more high energy than Peter. So I'm having to put into practice everything that I teach. So hopefully, maybe, we'll see how lockdown goes, Heather, and maybe we'll make that a plan for in the summer at some point to actually get out and do our prelim dressage test.
Or we could just Zoom it and get someone to judge it for us.
Well, there is e-dressage, so you can do that. You see, and you see, now your street's ahead because you have an arena and your horse is ready for it. So I think what you've just unwittingly done, committed yourself.
I don't want to move the goalpost, because I'm so, since our work, and especially the work we've been doing recently, I'm quite energized. I don't feel I want to move the goalpost. I know we have to tweak it. But we can still do it. We just can't go off and do it against lots of other people. We can still ride a test.
Right. Well, girl, we had better get cracking on and get you entered into an e-dressage then.
I better get on.
It's not online. Well, it is technically, but it's not on the lines. Okay. Thank you, Heather, for your time to share your journey and your experience. I'm sure everybody that's listening will really appreciate that and be able to relate to it. And that was the whole reason I wanted to be able to let people talk to other people that I'm working with. So thank you very much for that. I shall let you go and enjoy this actually sunny day that we've got.
Beautiful.
And see how the day takes you. See whether tonight I get a message with a little video recording of his ears as you're cantering down the centre. Yeah. I'll be like, yay, she's there. Thank you so much, appreciated. And I will speak to you very soon.
Of course.
Take care.
Bye.